Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gaming Droid. So, as I said before, we have Sir Marvin, the Archmage with IBS and Corporalia. We have the Stereo Blind Ectomorph, who is a Paladin with the Chakram spell. And then we have a Ectomorphic ADHD Paladin. Well, the Ectomorphs I find to be very difficult, so it looks like we're going to be taking the Archmage today. So let's grab a little bit of spell power and let's see if we can't use some equipment to bolster our Archmage. A little bit of extra mana, a little bit of extra defense. Oh, I need the ability to wear more stuff. That looks like that's all we're going to be getting today. Can I equip that? Just about. So, let's go. Let's go with the daggers first. So guys, I have started my new job and I've sort of gone through my induction and my sort of beginning to it. So that was what my recent activity has been like. Feel free to tell me what you've been up to. I'd love to know. Have you been finding a particular game difficult? Have you been interested in any particular games at the moment? Are you a game developer who wants me to do a video on your game? Yes. Small hope, perhaps. Small hope. But we can always live and dream. And that's the thing, guys, that I've been finding at the moment, is I've been finding it very difficult to get permission to use... Oh, I'm not going to last long in here, am I? Oh, well, that was a short run, guys. Which means that we can move on and see if we can't get a new heir. So we've got a Gigantism Hokage with Ectomorphism. I don't like Ectomorphism, but Gigantism can be a big bonus, especially with a Hokage who does a lot of damage. It means lots of damage in a large area. So let's go with that, shall we? See if we can't do a little bit better. The dagger spell, quite useful. Not super useful, but quite useful. And we're already up to 155 gold. That's good. So recently, guys, I got permission from a very nice studio to do a video on their game. Despite the fact I have a very small channel, and I gave them all the information about the fact that my channel is very small before sort of they gave permission, so I didn't trick them into thinking I have a really big channel. But they were really open and accepting into me doing a video of their game, which is quite a big thing for... Turn around, you silly cow. Well, that's 2 characters gone. And to think, in my last video I managed a 17-minute character. So we've got a knave... Ooh, Lich Queen. Here we go. Well, I can't really buy anything, so can I buy anything at all? Is there anything? No. So for small YouTubers like me, getting permission to do a game, especially a game that hasn't been covered much, which this one hadn't, is kind of a big deal. So I'm very thankful to that developer for giving me permission to do that, and I plan to try and get as many of those as possible. The more permissions I get, the better, of course. And for you lot, it means new and interesting videos. Or at least I hope you find them interesting. And guys, this is something that I'm quite new at, so any advice, any sort of recommendations you can give me, either on how to get people to give me permission to do videos on their games, or just what you'd like to see out of my videos, guys. If you want to give me some information about, oh, I don't like that particular kind of sound, or I don't like that particular way of recording, that's fine by me, guys. More information the better, really. Looks like we've got a very big skeleton over there. Oh! God dang it. Let's see what we get, guys. We get a retaliation rune. I'm not a big fan of the retaliation runes in this game. A lot of people say the retaliation runes are some of the best runes you can get, but as far as I can tell, guys, the retaliation runes are actually some of the worst runes you can get, because they rely upon you taking damage to return damage, and they don't return that much. Yes, if you've got a very high health, low damage character like a barbarian queen or barbarian king, and you happen to have all 5 retaliation runes, then you'll be returning 250% damage to whoever hits you, and that's going to do some serious damage. And because you've got a very high health character, you can get away with it. But even then, you're still choosing to take damage instead of trying to avoid it. Which, at least to me, seems a little bit counterintuitive for this game. Pardon me. Because health is your biggest, or your most important resource in this game. Without mana, it can be hard. Without damage, it can be tricky. But without health, you don't play. So, for me, giving up health to deal damage for retaliation runes is a bit silly. So guys, let's gamble. Let's see what we get. Oh, Hyperion's Ring. This allows me to have a decent chance, or I'm pretty sure it's almost guaranteed chance, of resurrecting once I die. So 1 death, I get a small number of hit points back and resurrect, which is actually a really great ability. Gives you a great little sort of, I suppose, buffer. It's like extra hit points. It's free extra hit points. The only difference is, unlike hit points where you can continue moving the whole time, with this it pauses you for a certain amount of time and you resurrect on the spot, which can sort of throw off your movement pattern and your reactions as well. So there is a slight negative side to it. Oh, this is what this was made for. Look at that. Easy peasy. The Grace Rune. The Grace Rune's really good, especially once you've completed the game once. As far as when you haven't completed the game, the monsters in each area tend to be quite sort of well designed for your level. So I would say that you don't necessarily need a Grace Rune. But a Grace Rune can be beneficial. It can make certain later areas easier, especially if you're trying to get to a boss, or if you're trying to max out, say, a Lich Queen or a Lich King. A Blood Cape. And gold. Lovely. Let's grab some mana and some food. And once again, a nice easy way to grab lots and lots of hit points. And these rooms, and if you have the Raven spell, these sorts of rooms are excellent for grabbing lots of hit points. A little bit of gold as well, but unless you're a dwarf you can't get at the treasure chest, which is a bit of a pity. But not getting at the treasure chest is not the end of the world. There's plenty of treasure chests that you miss out on. I'm going to see if I can go around that. I probably can. Ooh, yay, another mana potion. And as I said, those books, those journals, give you a storyline over time. But I'm not going to be going through the storyline, guys, because I don't want to spoil it for you. Lovely mana potion. Grab some food and some mana, and let's move on to the next zone, because we get a bit better rewards in this zone. So we've reached the point where we're not upgrading our hit points anymore, so I'm going to turn them into mana points. Now, a good trick if you've got a lot of runes that give you a bonus for killing things is to remember that you can kill these spike balls if you trap them inside the ground, which means you do get the bonus for killing something. Ah, damn you. Oh well, it was worth a go, guys, but it was not to be. So we're not doing too bad, guys. We've gotten quite far along. We've grabbed a couple of runes, which is nice. And we've... Oh, that was stupid in the extreme. I should not have jetted into that room. We've grabbed a couple of runes, we've grabbed a couple of patterns, and we're up to 2,000 gold, which is nice. And for the most part we are... I don't know if I've actually defeated, I can't remember if I defeated the boss in the jungle. I shall have to check on that later. The stone guys can be a bit tricky. They're actually quite easy to kill as long as you are patient with them. They can be a bit tricky at times. These are the double massive mages. Oh god, no, not a chance. Ah, there we go. That's the end of that run. Oh no, Death Defy. And I come back. With a certain number of hit points. Huzzah! And that's Hyperion's Ring in a go, guys. You die, but you come back with a small number of hit points. And I've reached maximum mana, which means that I'm stuck with my mana and hit points the way they are. This is part of the flow of a Lich. Early on, a Lich is actually really rather powerful. And one of the things that makes Liches very powerful for the sort of, not early, but the, I suppose, mid-game, is the fact that they have this flow to them of they can gain hit points and they can gain mana early on in the game, quite sustainably. But later on in the game they're stuck with what they've got, which is where they start to become a little bit weaker. Especially if they're one of the larger, sort of more mana dependent liches. If you can get a couple of siphon runes, which are the mana siphoning runes, and you can get a lich, then you can actually get quite a good thing going, because you'll be draining mana as you use your crow spell, or your fireball spell, or... However, if you want to be a spell fighter, personally I much prefer the spell sword, because you gain back mana every time you hit something, which means you can alternate between hitting things and casting spells. And if you can get a spell sword with the same sort of bonuses. Now, actually, one thing I might be able to do is there are another couple of those shrines. Ah, I don't have... Were there shrines in this run? Pretty sure there were shrines in this run. Let's grab the food from here anyway. Now I think if I go down and across, that's that, so... That's the treasure chest room, so if I go across, so yeah, if I go this way... What's down here anyway? Right, plenty of fighting. So there's a special room here. Nope. I'm pretty sure there is another refill room somewhere around here. Is that it? Underneath the boss room? Nope. So perhaps not then. I don't think there are any more refill rooms. But we have gotten a decent amount of stuff. So let's go and have a go, see if we can deal with the boss. Now the advantage with this is I can use my crow spell when he starts to get up a number of allies. See if we can deal with him. No! Oh well, guys. Doesn't look like that was meant to be. So, guys, let's have a look at who we've got next for next time. We have Lady Sonia, the Archmage, Lady Shenoa, the Archmage, and Lady Antoinette, the Lich Queen. So, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time.